There is a question that has haunted humanity for centuries. What happens to a civilization when it disappears? Not slowly, not peacefully, but suddenly, as if the Earth itself decided it had seen enough and simply took back what was always hers. Across this planet, hidden beneath layers of jungle, swallowed by roots older than memory, buried under centuries of silence, entire cities wait. Cities that were once home to hundreds of thousands of people. Cities with temples, markets, palaces, and prayers. Cities that believed they would last forever. They did not. Today, Atmos takes you into the green darkness, to the lost cities that nature reclaimed, the civilizations that vanished without warning, and the ruins that still refuse to be completely forgotten. These are not ghost towns. These are ghost worlds. City 1, Angkor, Cambodia. Of all the lost cities on this planet, none was swallowed more completely, or more beautifully, than Angkor. At its peak, Angkor was the largest city on Earth. Home to over 1 million people, it stretched across more than 1,000 square kilometers of northwestern Cambodia. Its temples were so massive, so perfectly engineered, that when European explorers first encountered them in the 19th century, they refused to believe an Asian civilization had built them. They were wrong. Angkor Wat, the crown jewel of this lost empire, was constructed in the 12th century by the Khmer civilization. It is the largest religious monument ever built by human hands. Its towers rise like stone mountains above the jungle canopy, and its walls are carved with over half a kilometre of continuous bas relief sculpture, an entire civilization's history written in stone. But walk away from the main temples, push deeper into the jungle surrounding Angkor Thom, and you will find something even more extraordinary to probe. The temple that nature refused to release. Here, the jungle did not simply grow around the ruins. It grew through them, over them, and into them. Massive strangler fig trees have wrapped their roots around stone walls like enormous fingers. Silk cotton trees have split ancient towers down the middle, their roots pouring over the carved faces of gods like slow rivers of wood. Standing inside Tar Prom, you feel caught between two worlds. One built by human ambition, one reclaimed by something older and far more patient. The Khmer Empire collapsed in the 15th century, possibly due to a combination of drought, flooding, and political collapse. Within decades, the jungle moved in. Within centuries, it had swallowed everything. Everything except the stones. The stones refused to surrender. City 2, Tikal, Guatemala deep in the rainforests of northern Guatemala. Hidden for centuries beneath a canopy so thick that aerial surveys almost missed it entirely, stands one of the most powerful cities the ancient world ever produced. Tikal. At its height, between 200 and 900 AD, Tikal was home to over 100,000 people. It was the capital of a Maya kingdom that dominated Central America for centuries. A city of astronomers, warriors, mathematicians, and artists who understood the movement of planets with a precision that still astonishes modern scientists. Temple 4, the tallest pre-Columbian structure in the Americas, rises 65 meters above the jungle floor. Climb to its summit before dawn, and you will witness one of the most extraordinary experiences this planet offers. As the sun begins to rise, the jungle canopy stretches below you in every direction, an infinite green ocean reaching to the horizon. And then it begins. From somewhere deep in that green darkness, howler monkeys begin to call. Their sound, ancient, primal, almost prehistoric, echoes through the trees as the first light of dawn touches the stone temples rising above the canopy. In that moment, you understand completely why the Maya believed this place connected the human world to the world of the gods. Then, the Maya abandoned Tikal around 900 AD. No single reason has ever been confirmed. Drought, warfare, agricultural collapse, political fragmentation, all have been suggested. None have been proven. What we know is this: one of the most sophisticated civilizations in human history simply stopped, and the jungle, patient, silent, unstoppable, moved in to fill the silence they left behind. Today, archaeologists estimate that only a fraction of Tikal has been excavated. Beneath the jungle floor, thousands of structures still wait, an entire civilization still sleeping under the roots. City 3, Petra, Jordan. Not all lost cities were swallowed by jungle. Some were swallowed by something equally powerful, by time, by desert, and by the slow erosion of memory itself. Petra is a city carved entirely from rose-red sandstone cliffs in the desert of southern Jordan. It was the capital of the Nabatean kingdom, a civilization of traders so sophisticated that they controlled the spice routes connecting Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean world. At its peak, Petra was home to 30,000 people and processed more trade than almost any city on earth. To reach it, you must walk through the Sick, a narrow canyon barely wide enough for two people to pass side by side, its walls rising over 80 meters on either side. You walk in near darkness, the sound of your footsteps echoing off ancient stone for almost 2 kilometers. And then the canyon opens, and there it is, the treasury, Al-Khazne, 40 meters tall, carved directly into the rose-red cliff face, its columns and pediments perfectly preserved after 2,000 years. Not because humans protected it, but because the desert did. The Nabateans carved their city into the living rock, temples, tombs, theatres, marketplaces, all cut from the cliff face with tools that left no marks modern engineers can fully replicate. They built a sophisticated water management system that could supply a city of 30,000 in the middle of a desert. And then they vanished. The Roman Empire absorbed Petra in 106 AD. Trade routes shifted. The city slowly emptied. By the 7th century, it was almost completely abandoned. For nearly 1,000 years, only the local Bedouin people knew it existed. The outside world rediscovered Petra in 1812, when a Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt disguised himself as a Muslim pilgrim to gain access. A city that had hidden from the world for 1,000 years, found again by one man willing to pretend to be someone else. City 4, Machu Picchu, Peru. High in the Andes Mountains of Peru, at an altitude of 2,430 meters above sea level, hidden between two peaks so steep that Spanish conquistadors never found it, sits the most iconic lost city on Earth. Machu Picchu, built by the Inca civilization in the 15th century under the Emperor Pachacuti, this mountain citadel was constructed without the use of wheels, iron tools, or mortar. The stones of its walls were cut so precisely that a piece of paper cannot fit between them, even after 500 years of earthquakes, frost, and time. But Machu Picchu's greatest secret is not its construction, it is its abandonment. The Inca abandoned Machu Picchu sometime around 1572, just decades after the Spanish conquest of the Inca Empire. Why they left is still debated. Smallpox may have killed the population before the Spanish even arrived. The city may have been a royal estate, abandoned when its patron died. Or it may have been deliberately hidden, a sacred place the Inca refused to let their conquerors find. If that was their intention, it worked perfectly. The Spanish never found Machu Picchu. For 3.5 centuries, it sat hidden above the clouds, known only to the local Quechua people who farmed its terraces quietly, telling no one. The outside world learned of its existence in 1911, when an American historian named Hiram Bingham was led there by a local farmer named Melchor Arteaga. The man who supposedly discovered Machu Picchu did not discover it at all. He was simply shown the way by someone whose ancestors had never forgotten it existed. City 5, Bagan, Myanmar. In the dry plains of central Myanmar, along the banks of the Irrawaddy River, stands one of the most extraordinary archaeological landscapes on the face of the earth, Bagan. At its height, between the 9th and 13th centuries, Bagan was the capital of the pagan kingdom, and its rulers were possessed by an obsession that borders on madness. They built temples, thousands of them. Over 2 centuries, the kings of Bagan constructed more than 10,000 Buddhist temples, pagodas, and monasteries across a plain of 40 square kilometers. 10,000 structures, more than any other archaeological site on Earth. Why? Because in Bagan's religious culture, building a temple was the highest act of merit a person could perform. Kings, queens, nobles, merchants, everyone built. The wealthier you were, the more you built. The more you built, the closer you came to enlightenment. The result was a landscape unlike anything else in human history. Standing on the plain of Bagan at dawn, as hot air balloons rise silently above you, and the first golden light touches thousands of ancient spires emerging from morning mist, it is impossible not to feel that you are standing somewhere outside of ordinary time. The Mongol invasion of 1287 ended the pagan kingdom. Bagan was largely abandoned. The jungle, drier here than in Cambodia or Guatemala, but no less persistent, slowly began its work. Today, approximately 3,000 of the original 10,000 structures survive. Each one is a prayer, a monument to a civilization's belief that beauty, built with enough devotion, could outlast everything. It almost did. City 6, Ciudad Perdida, Colombia. Our final lost city is perhaps the most difficult to reach, and therefore the most powerful to find. Ciudad Perdida, the lost city. Hidden deep in the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta mountains of northern Colombia, Ciudad Perdida was built by the Tairona civilization approximately 650 AD, making it nearly 600 years older than Machu Picchu. To reach it, you must hike for 4 to 6 days through dense Colombian jungle. There are no roads, there are no shortcuts. The path crosses rivers, climbs steep ridges, and passes through villages where the indigenous Kogi people, descendants of the original Tairona, still live exactly as their ancestors did. The Kogi have never entirely left their mountains. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived in the 16th century and destroyed Tairona settlements on the coast, the survivors retreated deeper into the Sierra Nevada. They sealed themselves away from the outside world. They watched, they remembered, and they kept their city hidden. Ciudad Perdida was unknown to the outside world until 1972, when a group of local treasure hunters stumbled upon a staircase of stone steps climbing into the jungle. They followed it upward for 3 days and found a city of terraces, paths and plazas carved into the mountain, completely consumed by vegetation. When you finally arrive, after days of hiking through heat and humidity and rivers that pull at your boots, when you climb the final 1,200 ancient stone steps and emerge into the clearing at the summit, the sight stops you completely. Circular stone terraces cut into the mountainside, paths that connect plazas used for ceremonies thousands of years ago. And surrounding it all, the jungle, alive, breathing, patient, still pressing inward from every direction. The Kogi elders who accompany some visitors call this place the heart of the world. They believe that what happens here affects everything else, that the health of this mountain determines the health of the planet. Standing in that clearing, surrounded by jungle and ancient stone, and silence so complete you can hear your own heartbeat, it is very difficult to disagree with them. 6 cities, 6 civilizations, 6 different ways the earth reclaimed what humanity had built. Angkor, swallowed by roots that moved like slow rivers through stone. Tikal, sleeping beneath a jungle that still guards its secrets. Petra, preserved by the very desert that ended its empire. Machu Picchu, hidden so perfectly that its own people protected it for centuries. Bagan, outlasted by the prayers carved into its crumbling walls. And Ciudad Perdida, still watched over by the descendants of the people who built it. These cities did not simply disappear, they transformed. They became something the people who built them never intended. Monuments not to human power, but to human impermanence. Every stone temple covered in roots, every carved wall split by a fig tree, every plaza reclaimed by grass and silence. All of it is saying the same thing. We were here, we built, we believed it would last, and the jungle simply waited. What about you? Which of these lost cities moves you most? Which one would you walk through jungle for days to find? Tell Atmos in the comments below. Because somewhere on this planet, there are cities we haven't found yet. Cities still waiting. Cities still sleeping. Cities the jungle has not yet decided to share.